Hello. Are you here for this week's episode too?
Transfer. So there's a lot of departments at our school, and one that I never delved into was sound.
Oh, wait, sorry. That's really crazy that you literally just mentioned sound because I was
Mhm.
thinking like, oh, I have something about sound that I want to talk about. But literally it's as if like we were on the same
I
wavelength.
got
Oh my
you. Yeah,
God. Oh my
wavelength,
God.
literally
Literally.
wavelength. Because
Uh-huh.
I feel
Go
like
ahead.
sound art is something. It's like I don't necessarily get it.
Me
But there's a
too.
Mhm.
couple cool like two pieces that we studied in school. So one is by Alvin Lucier, and I
Mhm.
linked it in my Notion.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
And
yeah.
we'll link it in the Spotify or
I am
description for
sitting.
this podcast. But
Hmm.
if you click on it, it's a 45-minute long video called I'm Sitting in a Room.
Does he
And this
just sing?
happened.
Uh-huh.
This was a live like performance that this guy basically is saying I'm sitting in a room,
Just
in a
that.
exhibition. And it's really cool though because in the beginning it starts off as like a singular line of audio and then it multiplies like every time he says it. So if you guys skip through towards the end, it sounds like kind of interesting. It sounds like music by the end. So the teacher was like, okay, we're gonna take a little break. We're gonna be looking at this piece. And we're all sitting in our chairs in a dark room with computer screens like illuminating
Mhm.
in the room. And then the like projector is on. And we watched the YouTube video that I linked. It's like dark blue and it's just like the type on it.
Mhm.
My teacher's like sitting in the middle of the room in our early chair. And she's like nodding as she's like listening to this.
That is
And
so
I
odd.
kid you not, we sat there for 45 minutes.
Just
I
listening to
literally
him
listened to the
sing.
first like 5 seconds and I was already like, I don't like this guy's voice.
Mm.
Oh,
Do
I
you think
am
people get that when they're
sitting
listening to us?
in
Sorry.
a... Oof.
I mean, we could be someone else's ick, but you know what? That's not my problem because
Yes.
what to talk about was Chris Burden. So if you go on my page, it's on there.
Mhm.
I just put a couple things. I'll just like read through one of them, like some of the things, because I picked highlights from the performances. But basically, the first one I want to talk about was called Transfix, and I've mentioned this to Alan Mish before. But basically, this was a performance where he, and I quote, uh, was glued to the back of a Volkswagen Beetle in a small garage on Speedway Avenue. First, Burden, so the artist, stood on the rear bumper of the car. He then laid down, stretching his arms onto the roof. Nails got fixed through the palm of his hands and into the car's roof. Then the garage door opened and the vehicle was pushed halfway outside. The engine ran at full speed. After 2 minutes, the spectacle was over and the car got pushed back inside and the door closed. Basically, he crucified himself on a Volkswagen Beetle. And this took place April 23rd in 1974. So it's called Shoot. Can you imagine what kind of thing he did in this one? So basically, the description of this was Burden's work forces spectators through the shock of lived imagery, not only to review but deeply analyze their moral selves, the profound nature of misery, and the undeniable reality of pain. At a time when society has become desensitized to the excess of violent imagery through media, he pushes the audience to recognize the reality of suffering, agony, and desperation. So basically, in this performance, he like shot himself,
Mhm.
or like someone was shooting at him. He invited a friend to
Oh
like
my
shoot
God.
at him.
Mhm.
So there was a possibility that he could die. And he did get shot. It like I think a bullet went through his arm. It either
Yeah,
grazed it
there's
or
like a
something.
photo of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I also watched this one. This was dreadful to watch because the anxiety of just like, oh my God, is his friend actually gonna shoot him? Like,
Mhm.
is this actually gonna happen? And it did. And there was a chance that he was gonna die. We were all gonna watch him die, but he did it. And someone said about the performance, I think everyone has fantasized about being shot themselves, consciously or unconsciously. You read about it, you see it on TV, on the news. So everyone, especially in America, thinks a lot about it. And like I said, it's as American as apple pie to get shot or shoot people. And so there is a very deep meaning
Mhm.
behind this performance. But everything that Chris Burden has done, like in his work, like as an artist, was like kind of extreme.
Mhm.
And I feel like he was one of the people that I still remembered. Even though like I don't remember almost everything from art history,
Mhm.
like he was one of the people that I could not erase from my mind, even if I wanted to.
Because AI is so big, especially
Right.
Mhm.
these days. It's like, what would AI replace? And then there's that big question: can AI replace artists? Um, because it's kind of like we said, all about the idea. But
Mhm.
recently, especially with like NFTs going on, there's a lot of art made from code, which also brings the question of like, oh, because a lot of, I don't know 100% a lot, like everything about code art, but like I think they just call it generative artwork. But I
Mm.
think almost 90% of the time you don't really expect, you just put a lot of code in, but you don't really know what to expect uh for the final outcome. So it's like,
Mhm.
oh, is your artwork, is it considered, I don't know, I guess like art, good art, or art if
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't like intentional, it's just random pieces of code. But then also it's like that's part of the art of code. But then
Yeah.
yeah, there's also like, I think what's big right now is Dolly. It's an AI where you put in keywords. So like the first one that came up in the article is babies doing parkour. And it's literally babies doing parkour. But then I was like, is this art? But it's really weird. It's like really
Mm-hmm.
weird because it's just like different composition. And then I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, in drawing 1 and 2 in high school, like I don't know, my teacher was so big on composition. It was like kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yeah. But I just wanted to bring like the conversation of what, because I'm curious like what other people, and especially what you guys think about art made out of code and AI is making art. Oh, you know that's actually another word. Tracy Emmons, my bed. That's literally
Oh
her
my
Oh
God,
name.
wait, I saw that, but I
yeah.
didn't see it.
Okay, I feel like most people don't know about her. Miss, you should explain this piece
So
because
What is
it's
this?
so fucking stupid.
so it's actually just her. I think she like laid in bed for like I don't know how long. I can't remember how long, but it was
Uh-huh.
after a bad breakup. And then it's just like it's like a bed with messy, like I don't know, junk
Sheets
all
and
over
things
the
like that.
floor. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she just
So
displays
basic.
that
Uh-huh.
into
Mm-hmm.
the museum. And I'm just like, why can't I put my bed into a museum after 1 week of crits, finals
Mm-hmm.
week, and call
Hmm.
that stressful week?
Yep.
Oh,
That was the whole piece, and like I saw photographs of it. I'm like, it's just their
Yeah,
bed. It's just
it's just a
photos
bed.
of it now.
Actually, that's true.
It's weird. I
that's
don't
just
get.
so.
I feel like maybe it takes a certain personality to like make work like that. I feel like, oh shoot,
You gotta market yourself.
you
You gotta
do. I think
market
you have to be
yourself.
like a little crazy where
I
people don't
do.
Mm-hmm.
question you. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm really sticking with this wall, but like, oh yeah, so I sewed my wall from my
Uh-huh.
childhood home, and I wanted
Mm-hmm.
people to experience this green color that I grew up
Mm-hmm.
with that
Yeah.
has
Mm-hmm.
aged over time.